Hi guys, welcome back to the last couple of weeks of term. Now, in the in the exam slot where we did that workshop, remember we were working on that groceries program where a user can order groceries. Now, one of the parts that we were going to, and we still need to add in, is the stock maintenance part. Now, the idea of this is that a user can add in more items to these two arrays here. So we can end up with more groceries added to the list with the appropriate prices also added in. Now, to do that, what we're going to do is to create a function which is going to be responsible for the stock maintenance. Now, I think the best way to show you how this is going to work is actually just to run this one which is already completed. So I'm just running this in Chrome, and let me open up the console. There it goes. Let me just rerun this program. Okay, so stock maintenance option 3. So when the user presses 3, what we want to do is we want to have a little menu appear. So this is a new menu. It says please choose from one of the options displayed. So print current items and their prices. Now you might recall that was also an option from the main menu. So we should just be reusing the same function to do that. And so the output here looks the same as what we had before, but instead of going back to the main menu, we're going back to the stock items menu. So we run the function which displays the current items and their prices, but we now rerun the stock maintenance function so that this menu appears. Okay, option 3, as it says here, should take us back to the main menu, which it does. Perhaps the only thing I would add in here now is a clear console so that we only see the main menu. Okay, and let's go back to the stock maintenance menu, and this is really where the work happens. We want to add items and their prices. So let's press option 2. It says enter the name of the item to be added to the groceries list. Well, let's add an item, let's say Milo, and let's put a price in there of, I don't know what the price might be, let's say $3.65. Let's just make something up. Click OK or press enter, and what we've got here is that we've added an item and it's taken us back to the main menu, sorry, not main menu, the stock maintenance menu, and let's just check to see if that was added in. So let's print the items, and sure enough, here's Milo with its price there. Okay, so let's add another item. Let's go with, already got coffee in there, let's put tea, and let's say that was $2.90. Okay, and option 1, yep, there's the tea, $2.90. One thing our program doesn't do is to actually check to see if the item already exists in here, and that would be something which would be sensible to do, but we're not going to do that at the moment. But one thing which our program should do is not add anything to these arrays if we enter nothing. So let's test that. Okay, so enter the name of the item. Let's just press enter. What happened there? It took us back to the stock items. And if I press option 1, okay, yeah, we didn't have a blank here added anywhere. Alright, so let's go option 2 again. Let's actually put the name of an item. What can we do here? Raisins. And let's say it's $1.58. Oops, no. Let's say I don't put a price in. So let's press enter. Okay, and if I print the items, raisins wasn't added, and we didn't have a price there, so the raisins name wasn't added. So it looks like we're only adding the name and the price if we actually have a name and a price. Okay, so let's click on return to the main menu and let's quit our program. Oops, 4, 3, sorry, return to the main menu, 4. Okay, looks like we've got a little bug here. So return to the main menu, number 3, quit the program, number 4. Okay, that did work that time, but I suspect we've got a little bug in there we're going to have a look at trying to fix up. Now let's have a look and see what's happening here. Okay, so in the stock maintenance function, okay, so I'm just going to run through this with you because you're going to have to recreate this and also then do a similar exercise for a different program. Okay, so this is our menu basically, or what we see on the screen for our menu. Stock maintenance menu, underline that, please choose one of the options. Okay, option 1, option 2, option 3, print current items and their prices, add items and their price to the stock menu, return to the main menu, and then I've created a variable called stock option, which the user is prompt. Choose from one of the 4 options. It says, well, that's a mistake, isn't it? Should be 3 options. Let's fix that up. Press 1, 2, or 3. So if stock option, if this variable is equal to a 1, okay, we simply print items. Our print items was this function somewhere. Here we go. Okay, that you've used previously from the main menu when you wanted to print the items from there too. So there's another advantage of a function, it's reusable. Okay, and then once we've printed the items, we want to call on stock maintenance again. Now one thing I will do at the start of this is I'm going to go console.clear just to clear the console so I don't get it too messy. Okay, then else if stock option was the 2. Okay, now I'm going to ask the user for the name of the item to be added. So that's going to be a prompt, it's not a number. Okay, so it's just a string. So item to add, and here is a little bit of checking. If item to add is equal to null, now null is when somebody clicks on cancel, or item to add is equal to an empty string. That's basically when they enter nothing and press enter on the keyboard. So this basically checks to see if the item to add was cancel or nothing, and if that's the case we simply run stock maintenance again. Nothing's added to the lists, we simply go back to this menu. And then we got else. Okay, so if item to add was a valid thing, okay, that's good. So that's that if part is checking that part. Then else is basically running after this if thing has finished. Else var price to add. So this is going to be a price that we want to add, and this is a number. Okay, so we're prompting the user to enter the price of the item to be added. Now this here probably should have some error checking with it as well. Okay, so we can't unfortunately use this check integer because this checks to see if it's an integer, obviously, and prices obviously can be decimal numbers. So we would need to have another function which would check to see if this is a valid number. In other words, if it is a number that it's above 0, would probably do for that particular function. Okay, and it's something which you could try and add in yourself. But at the moment, let's assume that somebody types in a number. Now, if they once again don't type a number, or they click cancel, or they just press enter with nothing in there, what's going to happen is that the stock maintenance function is going to run again, and we simply see the menu. Now, this if else part basically started from here all the way down to here. Now what this is doing is essentially getting the item to add, getting the price to add, checking to see that they're not empty. In other words, that we actually do have a price to add and an item to add. Now if we have an item to add and a price to add, we need to add them to these two arrays up the top here. How do we do that? How do we add an item to an array? Okay, well I'm going to use this built-in JavaScript function called push. Now what that does is it adds on to the end of an array. So this is the name of the array, groceries. We're going to add to the end of that array the item to add. And item to add was the name of the new item. We're also going to add to this array the prices, so dot push again, add to the end of that array the price that we've got. Once we've got those two things, we're then going to run stock maintenance again. So we come back to this menu here again. And the only other part of this was if stock option was a 3, which was to go back to the main menu. Sure enough, we can do that by running the main menu function. Okay guys, I'm just going to pause the video for a moment. Just want to check to see if that error that I saw before was actually a real error where we're trying to go back to the main menu and quit and it wasn't doing that. So let me just check on that one moment. So guys, just welcome back again. I have been doing a bit of testing here, and a couple of things I realized was adding console.clear to the start of the stock maintenance function, not a particularly bright idea, because for example, when we choose option 1, we want to print the items, and then if I run stock maintenance, then if I put console.clear here, it'll clear the whole console so I can't see the items. So that was a bit stupid. One other thing which I realized was that when we choose 1, 2 or 3, what happens if a user chooses 4 or accidentally types something else? We need a little bit of trapping here to basically saying that if they choose something else, well, it's simply going to take us back to the stock maintenance menu. So let's add that in, and let's do that with something with an else, and let's just simply run stock maintenance. Okay, so let's test that. Okay, so having chosen 3, let's now print the current items and their prices. That makes sense, that looks a lot better. Let's choose something else. Okay, simply runs the stock maintenance menu again, so that's trapping that problem where somebody accidentally types a 4 instead of 1, 2 or 3. Okay, so that's all good. Let me just pause this for a second again. Okay guys, now one thing that we need to check is once we've added items to the groceries and the prices, does the get ordering part still work? And I think we might run into a problem there, but let's run it through for now. Okay, so what do we got here? Option 1, have we added anything? No. So let's add some items. Let's go with Milo again. No, $3.50. Let's put some tea in there, and let's say that was $3.90. And let's go with some Coca-Cola or Coke, and let's say that was $8 for a pack of 8 or something. Okay, so pressing enter. Let's go option 1. Okay, nothing was added. That was pretty weird. Let me just try that again. $2.50. Okay, let's go option 2. T, $3.50. And let's print that. Okay, I don't know what was happening before, but it's certainly working now. So I'm just going to keep going with this. Okay, and one of the options 2, and let's put in Coke again, and $8. Option 1. Right, I think I was not choosing the correct option here before trying to add the next item, not reading my own instructions. Okay, so let's return to the main menu and let's order some groceries. Now currently we have codes from 0 to 7. Okay, so I'm going to go code 7, 1 of those, code 2, 5 of those, code 6, 1 of those, code 5, 2 of those. Okay, and let's finish. Okay, so let's see if this processing has worked properly. Okay, so the Milo, 2 of them, tea, 1 of them, Coke, 1 of them. Total for that order, that looks correct. So in fact, yes, I think that actually is working properly, which is good. Okay, and let's choose option 4 here to quit. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so I've tried to quit and I can't, although it did work the second time. I think the reason for that was, if I go back to the program, when I was inside stock maintenance, or inside get order, I must have been stuck somewhere inside here still, and so it didn't let me quit properly. Now you might notice that the quit part, I actually took away that create error part, or generate error, because I was thinking we wouldn't need it, but in fact I think we do for that to quit properly. So leave in what I told you about on whenever it was last week, Tuesday I think it was, so yeah, or Wednesday. So folks, what you need to do now is you need to add in the stock maintenance part and get that working in your program. Now when you've done that, I'm going to jump over to OneNote, have a look at our one here, go to the content library. Okay, and here is an exercise I want you to do. Okay, it's based on this erase exercise 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, where we had some countries and we're asking for the name of the capital. And in this array exercise 4, what you need to do is you want to create a main menu that looks like that, run the quiz, go to the quiz maintenance section, quit the quiz. When running the quiz, the user should be prompted for the answer. So what is the capital of Germany, for example? Now if they get it right, you're going to have to keep a score. Okay, they get 10 points for every correct question. If they get it wrong, they should see a display like this. So they might have been asked, what was the capital of Germany? And they typed London. So they should get a message something like, sorry, that was wrong. You put the capital of Germany as London. The correct answer was Berlin. Okay, so you need to keep track of what they put, compare it to the correct answer, and if they get it wrong, you want to print what they typed here and what the correct answer is there as part of this message. At the end of the quiz, they should get a message telling them their score out of the maximum possible score. Now, the maximum possible score will not always be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50, because you are going to add some extra countries in later. So, maximum possible score, think about how you could get that. If there are 5 items, it'll be 5 times 10. If there are, say, 10 countries now with their capitals, okay, then the maximum would be 100. So you want to give them that message. Then the program should take the user back to the main menu at the end of the quiz. Okay, when quitting the program, well, obviously the program should quit. Now for the quiz maintenance section, there should be a menu giving the user the option of printing the current questions and their answers, adding a new question with the answer. The question and answer should only be added to the arrays if there is a new question and an answer. After each question and answer, the user is taken back to the maintenance menu, and the last option should be for a user to go back to the main menu where they could run the quiz or do whatever they want to up there. Include error trapping. For example, a function that checks to see if a user has typed in an integer for their option choice and then returns the value. This error trapping should be done, or could be done in a different way, but the assessment does require you to have a function that receives a parameter. So use this way of checking the option choice. So this kind of function here, where you're simply checking to see is the option choice that the user's chosen a number and an integer, and obviously below 0, an option choice can't be below 0 either, and it shouldn't be more than the possible options. So that's another thing you could check at some part of your program. Okay, so that's this arrays exercise 4 that I want you guys to have a go at. I want this ready by Wednesday. Okay, so you got some work to do over the next couple of nights. Okay, good luck with that. Catch ya.